Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Churro For Your Thoughts. I'm your host, Annie J, and I am back from the dead. It's been a few months, and I miss you guys so much. I'm so sorry for the random disappearances happening. I'm going to be honest, life is crazy, and so because this is just a hobby of mine, I obviously don't make any money or anything off of it. Sometimes it ends up taking a back seat into my life, and it makes me sad when I do have to put things on hold. So I'm so happy to be back here on the podcast with you guys. If you follow me over on Instagram at Churro For Your Thoughts, you'll know that I'm still pretty active over there. I just post really random Disney related things, whatever I want over there. Sometimes I'm posting Disney memes. Sometimes I'm just posting cozy little Disneyland reels. Really just anything applicable to my life that has to do with Disney is what I'm posting over there. So go give me a follow. I love interacting with you guys and just laughing and geeking out about all things Disney over there. So yeah, it's been a few months, which is crazy, and I feel like so many things have happened in my life since I last spoke with you guys. I was able to attend a Formula One Grand Prix in November of last year, which was incredible. It was in Vegas, and that was definitely a highlight of my year. We had Christmas. My little guy turned 2 years old, which is nuts. For those of you that have been around for 2.5 years now, I actually announced my pregnancy on my Disneyland page before I even announced it on any private socials or publicly at all. And I was there in Disneyland when I was pregnant. I took him when he was about 4 months old, and now he is almost 2.5, which is crazy. We took him to Disneyland in February of this year, so right after he turned 2, and it was a blast. It was such a fun age to take him because he was so much more aware of what was going on, and you can really just see the Disney magic starting to click in his brain, right? Like, he's old enough to understand a little bit more what's going on, and he absolutely loves these Disney characters. We're really big fans of Winnie the Pooh, of course, Toy Story, so Woody and Buzz, Mickey, and Lightning McQueen and Mater in this house. So he's definitely taken on after his mom in the characters and the shows that he loves. And so we spent a lot of time in Disneyland waiting in line to meet characters, and that's not something that I personally do a lot. When it was just me and my husband going, it wasn't really a priority for me to meet characters, but having a toddler, that is like top tier. Like, if I saw a character, it was stop, drop, and roll. It was beeline to this character so I can see them before they cut the line off. And we had some really special moments doing that. We also had some really funny, insane moments. Like, I'm going to be honest, Milo was low-key terrified of some of these characters up close. He would get really excited when he saw them walking around and from a distance, but when it was his turn to go up and talk to them, he would just give them the meanest mug I've ever seen in my life. He was glaring at them, and like, I felt so bad for the characters. I'm like, I swear he carries his Buzz Lightyear toy everywhere. I swear he loves you, Buzz. But yeah, he was really scared of Buzz. He was terrified of Goofy up close, and Mickey. So that kind of felt like sacrilegious, disrespecting Mickey Mouse in his own house. But that's the way it goes. Toddlers have no understanding of when they're in the presence of royalty. So anyway, more to come on that. I would love to chat more with you guys and share different little magic moments from our trip, maybe on my Instagram page, and slip stuff in through the podcast. So anyway, that's what we are up to, or have been up to, over the past few months. It is May now, mid-May, so we are moving into summertime, and we're just really enjoying being able to get out in the sunshine more and spending time outside, going on walks, going to the park. I unfortunately don't see a Disney trip in the foreseeable future. Things are so freaking expensive these days, so it was definitely a splurge for us in February. But you never know what could happen, and maybe late this year or early next year, we'll be able to take him back to Disney. So send me all the good vibes, manifest for me that we get to Disney. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. Back to podcast related things. So for those of you that have been around for a while, you know that the format of the Churro For Your Thoughts podcast has been getting your magic moments from the Disney parks, having you send in audio recordings so that the story is told in your own voice, and then I stitch them together in a podcast episode, and I add music and add my own thoughts. Sometimes we'll have a little history segment, but really the heart of the podcast was your guys' magic moments. And I still stand by that 100%. However, it is a lot of work. It's a lot more work than I anticipated, and I think most people realize, because not only am I sourcing these magic moments, I'm having to basically cold message people on Instagram and on other social media platforms to get these magic moments, but then having to stitch them all together, edit the audio so that it sounds decent, and recording the promo, everything. It was so much work, and that's a really big reason why the podcast kept having to take a back seat. So after a few months of thinking about it, I've decided that I want to switch up the format of the podcast. I still want to be able to connect with you guys. I still want to be able to talk about Disney and still incorporate your magic moments somehow, but maybe not make it the entire focus of the podcast. So I am very happy to say that we have an official co-host of the Churro For Your Thoughts podcast. Her name is Aubrey Richards, and she is the biggest sweetheart in the world. She's one of my favorite people I've ever met. Just her energy is so bubbly, and she is very opinionated and is not afraid to speak her mind, and she's just silly. I think she brings out a lot more of my personality when I'm able to chat with her about Disney stuff. So I'm really excited for you guys to see a little bit more of that, a little bit more of that dynamic and of my personality as well, instead of just reading off scripts like I typically did for the show. Our plan for the podcast moving forward is to pick a Disney related topic. Typically it will be something revolving around the parks, and we're just going to have a conversation about it. That's pretty much it. It'll just be us shooting the breeze, talking about things that we love. We have a lot of opinions, but we generally try and keep it very positive. I want this to be a happy, safe little corner, just like it's always been. And then to close out the podcast, every episode, I will be having a magic moment submitted by one of you guys. So we are still going to have those, which was crucial in order for me to continue doing this podcast. So please still submit your magic moments. Message me on Instagram. I have the link to submit in my highlights on my Instagram account, Churro For Your Thoughts. And I also have a link in the show notes where you can go submit it. But if you have any questions, you can just DM Churro For Your Thoughts on Instagram. And lastly, we will still be uploading to all of your favorite podcast platforms. So wherever you were listening, we will still be on there. We are shooting for about 2 episodes a month. If it's going well, potentially every other month. So if you're liking what we're doing, please leave us a 5-star review. Go follow us on our Instagram. Let your friends know about the podcast, because that is really encouraging for us to continue doing what we love. And my last housekeeping item before we hop into the episode is that the audio for this podcast is a little bit rougher than I would prefer it to be. Aubrey and I are still working out some of the kinks to recording virtually. She lives like an hour and a half away from me, so we're still working out the mics. I just want you to know it will be getting better next episode, and hopefully will continue to get better. So please be patient and bear with us while we work out these kinks, but I hope you enjoy this episode nonetheless. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this new era of the Churro For Your Thoughts podcast, and let's chat about some Disney stuff.